Hey, thanks for checking out my video and for checking out my channel. Today we are hanging out here at Poxono Island Access or Poxono Boat Launch in the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area. It's located near Poxono Island on the Delaware River, right off of Old Mine Road, which is about 8 miles north of the Delaware Water Gap. The National Park Service operates kind of a primitive access site offering a partially paved road, partially paved parking areas, a little latrine or toilet that you can use. Unfortunately, it doesn't lock at this point in time. And it gives pretty wide access to the river for folks that want to launch a small vessel, whether it be a kayak, a canoe, a rowboat, and so on and so forth. Lots of nice areas for fishing as well. And it really is, from my point of view, one of the most beautiful scenic areas on the river in this area of northeastern Pennsylvania, where you have northeastern Pennsylvania and northwestern New Jersey facing off across the river. It's actually located on the Jersey side. But once again, one of the most beautiful spots. It offers expansive views of the river, a nice island that gives you access to some privacy on the other side of the island. You hardly will see another person here if you come during the week, early in the morning, or in the evening hours. The forecast for today is supposed to be a wonderful, wonderful day filled with sunshine and blue skies. However, because of the dynamic here in the Delaware River Valley, we find that this time of year in fall, in autumn, the river temperature, the water temperature is still quite warm, and the evening air temperatures will dip down sometimes into the 40s or maybe even close to freezing temperatures at some points in time. And that creates this dynamic where we have this cloud shield or fog that hovers in the river valley sometimes until well into mid-morning or even later, despite maybe sunny weather in the surrounding area. So that's what we're dealing with today. But with every challenge, when we're plein air painting, there's an opportunity. So we have this kind of foggy, hazy, very mysterious setting here on the river. I'm a fan of the tonalist movement, so this presents an opportunity to paint on plein air and also create an image on my canvas that kind of pays tribute to the tonalist movement and those wonderful atmospheric kind of sensibilities that one needs to employ in order to paint a scene like this, where so much of what would normally make up this scene, edges, treetops, the actual horizon line, they get diffused mysteriously off into the distance, into nothingness almost. And still at the same time, there's opportunities to bring splashes of color into view. So those are the sorts of things we're going to do today once we get settled in here. Today we're going to be painting in oils, and I'll have my standard palette in place, which will include transparent red oxide, a little bit of India yellow, titanium white. Also, more recently, I've incorporated some colors that I haven't used in the past, like Gamblin's warm white, for example, and also Gamblin's radiant violet as well. But beyond that, mostly standard colors, the ones that I mentioned, plus sap green, yellow ochre, dioxazine purple, raw umber, burnt sienna, ultramarine blue, and raw sienna. I'll also have a little bit of gamboge yellow, which I'll incorporate into my palette as well, which I tend to do from time to time. So I'm going to get my easel set up. I'm going to be painting on a 12 by 9 linen mounted on 12-inch by 9-inch, I should say, linen mounted on a panel using my plein air easel. And what I'm noticing here is that I had forgotten my brush case, so I don't have any brushes at this point. This location is a little bit further for me to get to from my home. It takes about 20 minutes for me to get here, so I'm determined not to give up. I can't afford to waste this morning. I know this week I'm probably not going to get as much painting in as I'd like to, so I'll dig around for a bit here. I'm not going to find any brushes. Plenty of other stuff, pens, pencils. It's not going to help me today. I do recall I did drop a brush in here some time ago. I'm hoping it's still in here. But I'm also resigned to the fact that I'm going to be doing a little bit of finger painting today at this point. So you'll see, we'll get started. We just can't let these little things keep us from making progress. And if we have to use our fingers, that's fine. I am wearing gloves. And we'll see what kind of effects we can get today, just using mainly our fingers.
My fingers.
I am going to tone this canvas. This will help me get rid of the white areas on the canvas, it also helps me develop a feel for how I'm going to mix and apply paint with my fingers. Customarily, I'll mix my colors on my palette using my brushes or a palette knife. So this experience is new, and I'm obviously using a paper towel as well, as you see here, but it's given me the opportunity to kind of assess what this process is going to feel like for me. And I'm selectively using just a couple of colors in order to tone my sheet of linen here mounted on the panel. I'm using some yellow ochre, some raw umber, and a little bit of raw sienna as well. And my intention is just to plot out the areas based upon values and concentrate these colors, the darker colors, for example, like raw umber, in the areas within my field of vision that actually consist of darker values. And we'll just very loosely map those out, covering the entire surface, doing away with any of the white areas because we don't want those to shine through. This will also, as I kind of smear all these colors together to some degree, it'll also help bring some color unity and value unity to the painting as I progress further on with my time here on site. So I'll go ahead and get the whole thing covered, and then I'll start plotting out some of the major shapes. In this particular painting, there's roughly 4, maybe 5 big shapes that are going to make up the design of this particular image. And that in itself hopefully will lend to a stronger painting. And I think the big challenge for me is going to be what you see going on here, me trying to feel out how it is I'm going to mix paint and apply it to the canvas with my fingers. This is something that I haven't done, or at least that I haven't done since maybe I was a toddler. Other people do it, so why not me? So I stepped away for a little bit and I took one last look in my pack, and I was able to find in one of the interior compartments my sole brush that I do have available to me today, which is a dagger brush, which I feel very fortunate because it's one of the more versatile brushes that you can use. So while it's not necessary, it will help me kind of deal with some of the finer shapes and lines that I'm going to want to incorporate into this painting. For example, there are some tree trunks and tree branches that are going to be of increasing importance as this fog clears a little bit and as the day goes on. Also, these grasses in the foreground, which you may not be able to see at this angle currently right now, are going to be really important because it'll help direct the eye up into and throughout the painting. It'll also provide opportunities within those grasses to bring some color, serious color, including some reds and purples and oranges, along with some greens, into this painting, which will help build out the atmospheric perspective, create the illusion, that magic trick that suggests to the viewer that the foreground is much closer than the images that are intended to be in the mid or background of the painting. So having that dagger brush has increased my confidence here, but I do have much more to do to build out these larger shapes. So I'm going to continue painting with my fingers for the time being, but you'll see that dagger brush come into view in just a little bit. Now I'm going to be quiet for most of the remainder of the video. You can feel free to enjoy the progress here that I make throughout this painting and maybe some of the sounds of nature. I appreciate you checking out my video. If you've enjoyed it thus far, please consider subscribing, liking this video, and also maybe sharing with a friend. this point in time, I'm moving a little bit more methodically and carefully as I put the final marks on the painting during my time here on site. What I'm noticing, and I have been for some time, is that the color temperature within my painting is much warmer than the actual color temperature within the scene itself. So particularly in the areas, those shapes that consist of the sky, you could see my painting is a little warmer versus the sky areas in the actual background there that I'm looking at. And when I say warmer versus cooler, what I'm referencing is the temperature of the colors themselves. So cooler colors tend to have a little bit more blue incorporated in them. Warmer colors tend to have a little bit more yellow and or red incorporated into them. So I have to make a decision here. Do I want to take steps to provide better color matching? And one of the key questions that I'm asking myself is what would be in the best service of this painting? I'm deciding I'm going to keep it warm. It's really my personal preference. So there you have it. That's my painting for today. I'll put a few more notes down. I appreciate you checking out my video. If you like this video, please subscribe and like this video, and also maybe check out this video up here that the YouTube algorithms suggest you may enjoy as well. Thanks again. Stay well. Keep coming back and checking out my work. Thank you.